Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a foundation demo review and full day wear test on the Christian Dior Airflash foundation. I talked about this in a Sephora favorites or Sephora recommendations video a couple of weeks ago, and it made me realize that I have never featured this foundation on my channel, yet here I am recommending it in a video. So the reason that I haven't showed you guys this foundation is because I got the wrong shade. I have shade 201 and it's pretty light for me, so that's the reason I haven't worn it in a tutorial or really talked about it. But I decided, for the sake of just reviewing the product for you and showing you how it wears throughout the day, you guys wouldn't mind if it was a little bit lighter than my actual skin tone. So that's what we're gonna do today. So it is 10:04 a.m., so it's 10 a.m. I have a pretty full day today, actually. It's my husband's birthday, so after I get the kids from school, we're gonna go out to dinner with his family for his birthday around 6:30, so we won't be home until about 9. So this foundation is gonna get a good 11, 12 hour minimum wear today, and I'm gonna check in with you guys every few hours and kind of show you how it's wearing and what it looks like. Before we get into the demo, I wanna kind of read you a few things off of Sephora's website about this foundation, just so I don't forget anything. So this foundation comes in an aerosol can. They describe it as being like airbrush finish. You get 2.3 fluid ounces. It retails for $62, so it is definitely a higher price point foundation. I believe it comes in 11 shades. That's what I'm seeing on Sephora's website. It is rated, on Sephora's site, it is rated 4.5 stars. Okay, so what it is, this is what Sephora says it is. An ultra light foundation that delivers an airbrushed effect with precision and ease. Then it says it's an innovative mist foundation inspired by the airbrushing techniques used backstage at fashion shows. Micro diffusion system delivers a fine mist of foundation to provide a soft, velvety complexion. Customize your coverage by choosing to apply straight from the can for a lighter finish, or with a kabuki brush for fuller coverage. Mother of pearl pigments even skin tone and diminish the appearance of skin irregularities and fine lines, leaving your skin glowing with optimal radiance. All right, so I decided I want to show you guys how to apply this 2 ways. The way that I apply it is always with a beauty blender. I spray it on the back of my hand, I dab my beauty blender into it, and then I just kind of stipple the product onto my face. I didn't realize that you could spray it directly on your face. I'm envisioning a big fat mess when I do that. I'm envisioning it in my hair and my eyelash extensions on my clothes, but I haven't done it before, so I can't really say anything negative about that application since I haven't done it. So we're gonna try it today, and I'll let you know my first impressions on that application. For those of you that don't know, I was a makeup artist for like 15 years, so I did a lot of wedding makeup. I had an airbrush machine. I did a lot of airbrush makeup on brides, so I do wanna speak to how this foundation looks in comparison to airbrush. So we'll get into that in the demonstration. Okay, let me quit rambling and let's go ahead and get started with the demo. Okay, so I don't have anything on my skin. I did put a little bit of concealer under my eyes before I dropped my daughter off at school. I have lash extensions, so I don't have any mascara in my lashes, and I don't have any brows on. So we're gonna apply the foundation, and then I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup and come back to you. Okay, so it does say to shake this foundation really well before each use. I'm gonna start with the application technique that I'm most comfortable with, which is spraying it on my hand and using the beauty blender. So I'm gonna just, I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see this like fine micronized pigments that just kind of float or evaporate into the air. The consistency of this is very lightweight. It's very liquidy. It doesn't feel thick. It doesn't feel creamy. It just feels like a lightweight liquid foundation. I always like to start in the center of my face, because we have the most discoloration there. That's where we tend to have the most blemishes. That's where we usually need the most coverage. Also, that's gonna prevent you from getting that harsh foundation line if you have applied too much and you don't quite blend it out. So immediately you can see the difference between the 2 sides. You can see how this side is really even, and this foundation is so lightweight. I mean, it feels like nothing. One thing I should mention is if you do it this way, if you apply it on your hand and use your beauty blender, you're gonna find that you are gonna need to use more product, because the beauty blender does absorb some product, so you are gonna use a little bit more too. That's like the compromise you make with using a beauty blender, is that you normally are gonna need to use more product, but I'm okay with that. It takes me forever to go through foundations anyway, just because I mix my foundations up so much that you know, I'm okay if I go through it a little quicker. Otherwise, I would have it sitting around forever and never finish it. So, okay. So what do I think? Do I think this looks like airbrush foundation from a machine? Yes, I do. I do think it gives the same finish. The type of airbrush makeup that I would use, I used Kryolan airbrush foundation when I would do weddings, and it gives a very flawless finish. It looks beautiful in photographs. It's beautiful for a wedding day. I do think it can look really heavy. And I'm not talking about this foundation. I'm talking about like airbrush makeup out of an airbrush machine. I think it can look a little heavier. This does not look heavy to me. This looks very natural. It doesn't have a flat matte finish. It doesn't have a really like pearly glowy finish. It's kind of somewhere in between. I think it's described as having like a velvety finish, and I would agree with that. And I'm just gonna go right in here. I have this little blemish here in my hairline. Okay. So I've applied the right side with just the Beauty Blender. I don't know if you can tell between the two sides of my face how much coverage it gives. I would say it gives a natural to medium coverage. Not full coverage, but as much coverage as I need. If you have like really dark hyperpigmentation, or you need a full coverage foundation, you can build this one a little bit. I don't know that you're gonna get as full coverage as you might want if you are used to using like a full coverage foundation. But I do think that this offers pretty decent coverage for every day. It looks very natural and very lightweight. It doesn't accentuate any fine lines. It doesn't accentuate pores or any texture in the skin. It looks very smooth. It does really have that airbrush, kind of that soft velvety finish, that soft focus look. I think this does look very similar to an airbrush machine, just not as heavy. Okay, so we're gonna spray it directly on the face for the left side of the face. And for fun, I'm gonna use a kabuki brush instead of a Beauty Blender, and we're gonna see how that applies, okay? I'm kind of nervous about this, you guys. Wish me luck. Okay, so I'm gonna shake this guy up. And I don't know, do I have my... Okay, I don't have my favorite foundation brush up here. Let's see, what are we gonna use? Okay, I'm gonna use the Real Techniques, this foundation brush. This is the best one I think that I have up here. I have a few others, but I'm not huge fans of them, so we're gonna use this one. All right, so I'm gonna shake the can up. I'm kind of nervous. Oh. All right, I kind of want to my... Ooh, yeah, that got in my eye. Not quite sure I like this technique. Okay, and then I'm just gonna press. I'm almost using the brush as I do the Beauty Blender. I'm not swiping, I'm not pulling, I'm just pressing. That's the best way to get good coverage without just moving the product from one place to another, you know? It's the best way to work the product into the skin and give you just a really nice, flawless finish and good coverage. When I get to the perimeter of the face, I am gonna kind of use this technique just to blend out any lines in the foundation. Okay. All right, let's go to my forehead. Oh, you have to be really light with your spray. Like if you push all the way down, it's gonna spray too much. So if you spray it directly on the face, use with caution. I don't think that's my favorite way to apply this though. All right, and then I'm gonna try spraying it on my brush, okay? And a little bit on my chin, in the center of my, a little more in the center of my face. Do you see how much lighter this is? Do you see how much lighter this is? This is why. I don't wear it too much, but we're gonna compensate with bronzer. Okay, so I have that foundation applied. As far as a difference in the finish from one side to the other, I don't see anything noticeable. To me, the two sides look, actually, I take that back. This side looks a little bit more coverage. The one that I use the kabuki brush on, I spray directly to my face, which is funny because it says on the website that that gives you the lighter application. Didn't it say that? Let me read that. Yeah, it says customize your coverage by choosing to apply straight from the can for a lighter finish or with a kabuki brush for fuller coverage. Okay, well that's probably why, because I use the kabuki brush even though I applied it straight from the can. Okay. All right, so I think that they look very similar. I think that the side that I sprayed it to my face and used my brush looks more full coverage than the side with the Beauty Blender application, which would make sense because the Beauty Blender is going to absorb some of that product. Okay, so I'm gonna set it with the Danessa Myricks powder, the translucent, and I'm just using the Beauty Blender. I'm gonna go right under the eyes. I used to do these foundation reviews without using a powder, but but I've been really oily lately, especially here in the center of my face. And it feels like every foundation that I wear, you know, 4 or 5 hours later, it's really shiny. So I feel like doing these foundation reviews without setting it with a powder isn't really fair because that's not how I would normally apply it anyway, since I am more oily. Okay, so I'm just setting it with the Danessa Myricks. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and apply my bronzer and shadow and the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have my makeup done. I really like the way my eye makeup turned out. I'm just using the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I used, I'll show you what I used here. So I used these colors, these two here, and then a little bit of the lighter one, and then these under the brow. So I kind of use the colors here in the shape of the L. Really like it, just really nice, pretty, and warm. For cheeks, I did Luminoso blush by Milani. This is one of my favorites. And for lips, I used 3 products. I used the Bite Beauty lip liner. I think this is the 126. It's just like this really pretty pink shade, kind of like a cool tone pink. And then I used a Bite Beauty lipstick on top of it. I used the color Sugarcane, which is one of my favorites. It's just a really nice, light pink shade, nudie pink. And then I put on top of it Chelsea Girls lip gloss by NARS, which I really like. It kind of warms it up a little bit more peachy. All right, you guys, it is 10:30. I have a busy day today. I am having lunch with a couple girlfriends. I'm gonna film another video right after this one. I have pick up my daughter at 2:30, and then my other daughter gets home at 3:30. We'll probably play outside for a little bit, and then we're having dinner at 6:30 tonight. So I will check in with you guys throughout the day and let you know how this is wearing. I'll check in with you before I touch up, just so we can kind of see, you know, how many hours we can get before we need to touch up, what it looks like, and all that. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. All right, bye. Hey guys, so it is about 1:30. I just got back from lunch. I'm gonna walk over to this window here where I have like the best light in the house so we can check out the situation on my face. I haven't touched up at all yet, so it's 1:30. What time did I apply it? That was 10:30, so it's been 3 hours. I think this is about the point that I would grab a powder and touch up. It's starting to get a little bit shiny in the area that I tend to get more oily in, which is like right here in the center of my face. So I'm about to touch up with a powder, but I wanted to let you guys see what it looks like at this point. I still think it's very pretty. It hasn't really transferred. I mean, it's only been 3 hours, but I think it looks very, it pretty much looks the same as it did with just a little bit more shine. So that's where we are at. I'm so frustrated. I went to lunch and I meant to pick up my dogs from the vet on my way home, and I got home and I completely forgot to pick up my dogs. And I have a call in 30 minutes and I need to be back here for that phone call. So I'm going to hop off, race to the vet to pick up my dogs, and I will be back and I will check in with you guys in a bit. Okay, bye. Hey guys, so it's 5:30. I'm getting ready to leave for dinner for my husband's birthday. I just kind of touched up my makeup. I refreshed what I had on. I did add a little bit of the RCMA colorless powder. Is that what it's called? No color powder on top. And I think it looks really nice. Let me see. Yeah, so looking in here, there is a little buildup around my nose. I can see it kind of gathering a little bit where my skin's a little drier and kind of peeling there, but overall the foundation still looks pretty good, pretty fresh. I feel like I can go out in it to dinner and not worry about needing to redo my makeup. So that's kind of where we're at. So it's 5:30. I've had this on for 7 hours now. Is that right? 7 hours? Our dinner will probably run a couple hours because we're going with this family and we tend to take long dinners. So I will check back in with you guys at the end of the night when I get home, just before I wash my face. But yeah, I mean, the foundation is wearing pretty well. I mean, it doesn't look as great as it did when I applied it this morning. It does look like it's been worn. Like I'm looking at it, it does look like it's several hour old makeup. But again, I feel like I can go out to dinner and not be concerned with having to redo my makeup, which usually if I apply my makeup in the morning and I go out to an event in the evening, I almost always redo my makeup. But I feel like this looks good enough to go out without having to do that. So anyway, I will check back in with you. I think I just heard the babysitter get here, and I will see you guys in just a bit. Bye. Hey guys. Okay, so it's 10 minutes to 10 o'clock. So I've almost had the foundation on for 12 hours, and it looks really good. I mean, I think I've touched up twice today, maybe 3 times, but I'm looking in the mirror and I don't feel like I need to touch up. Like if I were to continue wearing this foundation for a little bit longer, I would feel like this would be, I'm sorry the lighting's so bad. I'm in my closet and I have lights right above me.
So it's kind of bad. I'm trying to find the best place for this. But yeah, anyway, you guys know I'm a fan of this foundation. I've already talked about it before. I just wanted to show you how it wears throughout the day. For someone, you know, with my skin type, which is combination but more oily in the center of the face lately. So this is a very, very lovely foundation. I do recommend it. I think that if you have dry skin, you'll really like it. I think this is a good foundation for all skin types, because I think that if you were dry, it gives kind of like not a really flat matte finish, but more of like a natural matte. It looks very like hydrated. But if you're oily like me, it still wears throughout the day with, you know, applying the proper touch-ups throughout the day. So yeah, that's my review on this foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna wash my face though and get to bed because it is late and I am exhausted. Okay, you guys, I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.